for the School District of Indian River County. I ask that out of respect to everyone, please silence all electronic devices. And at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 5:30. I'd like to recognize the superintendent for a series of awards and presentations. Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We do have a number of presentations, including some student performances, so we're glad to bring those back. So I will turn it over to Ms. Hodge, who will present our next few items.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see a packed house this evening. Honorable Board Chair, board members, Dr. Moore, and attendees, we're honored to begin tonight's school board meeting with a celebration of excellence in education, highlighting outstanding educators and students across our district. The first item is the 2025 Outstanding Teacher Leader Award, where we will be recognizing Miss Jennifer Morrow. We're proud to recognize Miss Jennifer Morrow, a dedicated educator at Osceola Magnet K-8, as the recipient of the 2025 Outstanding Teacher Leader Award. Let's take a moment to watch a short video on either side that highlights her incredible impact in the classroom and beyond.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Norris. I'm principal of Osceola Magnet School. We'd like to congratulate Jennifer Morrow on the Outstanding Teacher Leader Award for 2025 for the state of Florida. So Jennifer Morrow is an outstanding leader in our school because she cares about students. She cares about our staff. She goes above and beyond to make sure that teachers have an understanding of what those high impact strategies are and how they fit into the classroom. Her hard work and dedication has really just been elevated and broadcast for everyone to find out. She is going forward and she's mentoring some of our newer teachers this year. She is really making such a huge impact across our campus to make sure that everybody has the information that they need to make sure that our students are successful and able to move forward. We are so thankful to have Jennifer Morrow as part of our staff. She makes an impact every day, not only with our students, but with sharing her knowledge across our campus. She continues to mentor other teachers. She continues to help problem solve and make our school the best that it can be.
Miss Morrow is a great teacher, and the reason why I like Miss Morrow is because she makes learning fun, and she's the reason why I started to like math more.
Miss Morrow made learning fun. I remember when we were studying for the FAST test, we had a glow party, and it was so fun because it incorporated learning and fun. Miss Morrow was a great teacher, and I loved having her. I hope other kids enjoy her as much as I did.
When I was in Miss Morrow's class last year, she was the reason I wanted to go to school. She made learning so fun. To the checkbook math, to teaching me just new strategies about math. She was so fun. One of the best teachers I've had.
Miss Morrow's a spectacular teacher.
I really wish she moved to 5th grade with us.
She made learning so much fun.
I know, she was really just a 1 in a billion teacher.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
We should love her.
Yeah.
Miss Morrow was a really great teacher, and she was really influential to me in math and science. And she was just an all-around great teacher, and I love her so much.
Miss Morrow is so kind. She's the reason I love math, and hopefully I always will love math too.
Miss Morrow is the best teacher in the whole wide world. She taught me so much, and I wish she could have been in 5th grade this year.
I think Miss Morrow is a great 4th grade teacher because she is very encouraging. Whenever I am stuck on a test question, she says, "Don't worry, you got this." That is why I think Miss Morrow is a great 4th grade teacher.
We love you, Miss Morrow!
So before we bring Miss Morrow up to the podium to share a few words, I want to share that your incredible students, that was one take each one. Fantastic. Presenting Miss Morrow.
Board members, Superintendent Dr. Moore, and district leaders, thank you so much for this incredible recognition tonight. Being honored with winning, oh my goodness, look at the sign. I just saw them. Being honored with winning the Outstanding Teacher Leader Award by the Florida Department of Education while representing this awesome school district of Indian River County as your Teacher of the Year was a moment that I will never forget, as well as this moment right here, right now. As your Teacher of the Year, I had the opportunity to meet all of the other District Teachers of the Year for Florida this past summer for a week-long event in July. I heard others speak about their districts, things that they like, things that they'd like to see changed. But what surprised me most was the number of them who expressed feelings of stagnancy. What an honor it was to stand and declare straight from my heart, not my district. The school district of Indian River County is on a trajectory unlike anything I or the state of Florida has ever seen. And watch out, because we're coming in hot for the #1 spot. Thank you so much for this. I'll never forget it. Thank you.
Yeah, come on, get in there. Come on, you gotta.
All right, congratulations.
Item B this evening is Fellsmere Elementary School student performance honoring Hispanic Heritage Month. We're pleased to honor the rich cultural contributions of our students and staff during Hispanic Heritage Month. Under the guidance of music teacher Ms. Rodriguez and principal Mr. E., the students of Fellsmere Elementary School will now share a special musical performance in celebration of Hispanic heritage.
Are we going to go down now?
Board members, if you want to come down to so you don't see their backs,
Yes.
we'll wait a second. Or if you want to throw on a sombrero and participate, Dr. Pasca, we could.
Arriba, arriba,
We get the board back on. I'm going to go help Terry get up there.
I need to walk. Thank you.
For items C and D, Osceola Magnet School student performance and STEAM school designations, I'd like to invite Ms. Kristen Bruckner, Coordinator of Innovation, to present the STEAM school designations.
Good evening. I'm Kristen Bruckner, Coordinator of Innovation for our district. And it's my honor to be here with you tonight to present our STEAM Designation Awards. This is one of the programs I'm proud to be a part of. As many of you know, that STEAM education weaves science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics into everyday lessons and curriculum. Over the past year, 4 of our schools have continued to advance their STEAM initiatives. We evaluated these schools based on 3 key areas: their overall school-wide STEAM plans, the variety and quality of STEAM opportunities, and for students inside and outside the classroom, and their STEAM achievement and acceleration data. The pictures that you are seeing are all for these schools throughout last year in their projects. Students at these schools engaged in inspiring work, designing habitats, launching investigations into aerodynamics, constellations, flight, and rockets, building levees and wind turbines, and even prosthetic limbs. Our teachers have been tremendous stewards of innovation, guiding students to think deeply, collaborate, and problem solve. It's because of these educators and schools like these that my SDIRC continues to be a place where we all want to thrive. Tonight, I'm especially proud to present the STEAM Designation Award to these 4 schools. We're doing something slightly different this year, and we have students here to accept the awards on behalf of their school. After all, it's them that's the heart of the work. So when I call your school's name, students, please come forward to accept your certificate. Our first school tonight improved from bronze to silver. They raised the bar on their aerospace theme and have the highest 5th grade science scores in the district. It's my pleasure to present Indian River Academy with the Silver STEAM Designation Award. That's Principal Ray Hall. Next, Treasure Coast Elementary will again receive the Gold STEAM Designation Award. Their ongoing work in marine science and conservation, particularly with their partnership with the Guy Harvey Foundation, continues to be exemplary. Our third school is Storm Grove Middle, also earning gold once again. They're integrating science and history into their critical thinking curriculum in creative and meaningful ways. And finally, Osceola Magnet is being honored again with the gold designation as well. Across all grade levels, they consistently offer engineering design challenges tied to their core content each 9 weeks, showing what STEM can look like in robust practice. Before we conclude this evening, we have a special treat. A group of Osceola students will perform a STEAM song, and while they're performing, the slideshow will continue to showcase our students in action. Congratulations again to all of the schools and their students. We're excited to witness continued growth in your programs. Thank you to our community partners, admin, teachers, and families. You guys continue to help fuel the innovation.
Beautiful job. Beautiful job.
Absolutely outstanding to get some student performances and talent back on our quasi stage. Madam Chair, that does conclude awards and presentations.
Thank you to all the families that came out tonight supporting the kids and all you do to support the school district. Thank you. It is 5:49. We will conclude the awards and presentations. We will start in a few minutes with an invocation, and then we will have our business meeting at 6 o'clock. District's business meeting at the Joanne Nidelet Junior TEC. Today is Monday, September 29th, 2025, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. The time is 6:01. I ask out of respect to everyone, please at this time silence all electronic devices. Also, if you have any material you wish to share with a board member, please give that to our executive assistant, Mrs. Moray. She's seated right there. All right, I'd ask the superintendent to lead us, please, in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Actually, we have ROTC.
Oh,
so-
thank you. I don't have that, so we have the ROTC. Is this Vero Beach? Oh, Vero Beach is ROTC. Thank you. Please stand.
Left face. Present. Colors.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Colors. Pose. Right face. Forward march.
They are back.
It's always nice to have the ROTC here. Thank you. All right, board members, at this time, I'd like to ask for adoption of the orders of the day. Are there any items that board members wish to move from consent to action or add to discussion? I see none. All right, could I get a motion then?
So move.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so there are no discussion items added, and we don't need to vote on that. Yes, we do. So all those in favor of adopting the orders of the day as written, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, it passes 4-0. And we have Dr. Jones with the first, Dr. Posca with the second. Okay, do we have anybody on Teams?
Ms. Rosario was on Teams.
That's what I'm asking. Is she there? I want to make sure that she's accounted for.
She's on.
I'm
here. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Nope, we're just making sure. All right, did you want to be counted
hear
on that
me?
vote for the,
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Yes, because I was actually speaking, I was talking when you asked for adoptions of the orders of the day, and if any board members wanted to move anything from consent to action, but you weren't, I don't know if you heard me or if the volume was off.
no, and it's already been voted on. Would you like to vote for it or against it?
I would like to ask our attorney,
Can't go backwards.
in a situation like this, Madam Attorney, where there was a computer, I don't know what it was, volume issue. Can we revisit that opening?
Board members, you can, through the chair, sorry, you can do a motion for reconsideration of something previously adopted.
Can you speak into the microphone?
Yes. Member Rosario, you could do a motion for reconsideration for something that was previously adopted.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that, thank you.
You'd have to make that motion.
Yes, I make a motion for reconsideration of the orders of the day.
Okay, I have a motion for reconsideration. Do I have a second? Okay, it dies for lack of a second. All right. So we are to the superintendent's report. The chair recognizes Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to pull up the presentation. It is exciting to bring our superintendent's report, and now I have control. So just a review of the month, very, very busy month. We did have our Welcome Back Pep Rallies, which is a new initiative, really not just to open schools, but open schools with a high level of energy and excitement, really making sure families were connected to what's happening in each and every single one of our schools. And you're going to see a theme regarding pillar events, if I can get this. It worked the first time, Sam. All right, you be my clicker, Sam. All right. At the district, we like to have a lot of fun. Me and Bruce were actually in a meeting. I did have my garnet and gold on, and Bruce did have on his UCF, right? UCF Knights shirt. So this is just the opportunity for us as we kicked off football season to celebrate some of our university. Go Noles, even though we lost. And this is our website launch. This was a significant amount of work. Thank you, Dr. Began, Dr. Shafty, and the committee who's been working on it across a number of different areas to lift this new website. The transition or integration period is typically 6 months. We did it about 3.5. So we're excited about the new look and the additional access and representing ourselves in the World Wide Web with a space and a look that is reflective of the quality of work and teaching that takes place each and every single day. We continue with our pillar events. We had donuts with grown-ups. This is connecting families together, not only connecting them to our school, but being extremely intentional of connecting parents with parents and growing and building that relationship with them. With each other to strengthen not only our community, but to increase their advocacy and connection to the schooling that we provide for their children. On Patriots Day, 9/11, it is a standing event, always done with class. Mr. Cummings, with his 9/11 Heroes Day at his school, very powerful each and every single year. It seems to always rain during this event. I was not here for this one, but once again, heard it was absolutely outstanding. Open houses, the participation at all levels, standing room only, great connections, great opportunities to engage teachers with families. Really enjoyed that, and the powerful opportunity to connect with parents and teachers. On September 18th, we did do the ribbon cutting for Pelican Island Classical Magnet. That was absolutely outstanding. We did, Ms. Rosario, I know you're not here, but we did take the idea that was shared by one of the individuals that was on the stage of signing the ribbon cutting. Everyone at the school has signed it. Our board members just signed it. So I will have it for you to sign before we give it to the school who was going to post it in their entranceway of the school. We love that idea and are taking advantage of that. And then really special event for me, September 19th, had the opportunity to attend the state board meeting. And be acknowledged with everyone who worked in the Florida Department of Education. The commissioner brought the entire building down for this acknowledgement. So I was asking my staff, who needs an email responded to right now? I have everybody in the room, but they're doing a great job in getting back to us. So that was special, but even more special was the next day, Florida State University brought all of the years, the teacher of the year, the employee of the year, the assistant principal of the year, onto the field for a recognition. Everyone knows, if you know anything about me, I am a Seminole fan. My 4 brothers went to Florida State. My dad went to Florida State. My 2 daughters went to Florida State. So to have the opportunity to be on the field was really exciting for me. So I'm glad the Department of Education and Florida State University had those acknowledgments. It was great thing for me. And then this Thursday is going to be a very special event. This is the unleashing of the video series, the documentary that they have done on our partnership at Vero Beach Elementary School with the Learning Alliance. We are going to show just a few. I think there's 10 different segments. We're going to show one segment and one overview, which highlights this partnership and the impact that we have collectively had. So this is going to be a great night for us as we celebrate teachers, we celebrate students, we celebrate families, we celebrate the impact of what education is in our community. So very, very excited and very much looking forward to packing the house and celebrating teaching and learning in Indian River County. I did add some slides just to kind of set things up for the board. This is a slide that Mr. Green has presented a number of times, board members, and you look at the increase in the family empowerment scholarships over the year, and this is looking at the increase in family empowerment scholarships as well as the enrollment in charters. And you see the enrollment in charters has remained steady over the course of the last several years, going back to 2018 school year, but the increase because of the change and shift in Florida law, there's significant increase in that program. This is the enrollment, which is our enrollment. The best thing about this slide is we predicted a certain number and we exceeded that number. But as a result, over the last several days of being with the other 66 superintendents and problem solving with them, there is a burden that I think we collectively should address. And that is to push ourselves forward in the innovation and recreation of what public education looks like. And it is very clear to me that we as a school system, we principals, teachers, together, we have done some extremely innovative things. We have improved educational outcomes at a rate that no other district has over the last 4 years. We've gone from 38th to 5th. We have built capacity at the teacher level, at the principal level. Just listening to some of these presentations today is a validation to me that we need to look at the spaces that we have within our school system to fill the seats. And over the last 5 years, I've been able to come to this board with about over $7 million of reductions. And that is looking at the space that we have available, the allocation of district staff, building that capacity, and then pushing ourselves or shrinking ourselves. We're to the point, board, where we've shrunk so much, the ESE office is empty. We're going to consider bringing it to you for sale. The student service building across the street, we've shrunk so much we can bring that staff over to this space because of the efficiencies that we have created. And we're proud of those efficiencies. We've created a staff allocation model that allows us to look at where students' enrollment will be in October in comparison to make sure we're budgeting our processes, a master schedule review process, spring budget conferences, protocol for allocation requests, some of the efficiencies, interest-based bargaining, which is a collective process we work with our union to make sure, teacher union, to make sure that we're listening and responding and creating efficiencies where there's truly need. The reality is we need to begin the conversation around not just innovation, but the maximizing the space that we have through innovation, which means we haven't looked at boundaries in a very long time. We need to look at boundaries to maximize space. Because there has been shifts and changes in state law regarding the kinds of public education that can be offered, there's a niche, there's an ability for us to provide or shift programming to increase our access or connectivity with our students. So it is a long, hard look over the next several months, but I do think we need to not only do this for our community. I cannot put any more reductions at the district level to offset enrollment trends. But I do think we have the space, we have the initiative, we have the capacity at our school sites as well as the district office to bring forward recommendations to maximize the space that we have. We're sitting at about 72, 73% overall capacity as a school system, which means to me, that's opportunity. That's opportunity to fill seats. That's opportunity to do things differently. And I think with this board and this staff that sits in front of you, we can really be a shining beacon of light for all other communities and school boards to look at in terms of the work that lies ahead. So excited to engage with the board on that particular area. And that is the presentation, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Okay, at this time we have our public input. These are the procedures for public input according to School Board Policy 0169.1. During regular business meetings of the board offers the following 2 opportunities for the public to provide us with input. 1, on an agenda item, consent agenda and/or action agenda, prior to the board taking official action on that proposition. And 2, during the public input section for items not on the agenda. For those who are watching, please understand that though we have established proper decorum and expectations of professionalism when it comes to individuals who wish to provide public input, this is a live broadcast. Each individual speaker shall be allotted up to 3 minutes during public input and up to 3 minutes to an item on the consent agenda and/or action agenda as indicated in the order of business as it exists at the time of the meeting as it started. The time period may be adjusted by the presiding officer, and individuals may only speak once about a given item. Individuals who have filled out the speaker's form are allowed to address the board. Individuals may not delegate their allotted time to speak to other individuals or for other individuals. If an item is moved from either the consent agenda or discussion agenda to the action agenda, individuals will have the opportunity to speak to an item prior to the vote of the board. During the meeting, please refrain from clapping or outbursts of any sort so that we can proceed with dignity and decorum by not infringing on any individual's First Amendment rights in this limited public forum meeting. As board members listen to individuals without interruption, we ask, please, that individuals give board members the same respect. Board members may or may not address any individual statements at the end of the public input comments. I will be recognizing and calling up individuals 2 at a time in the order in which the speaker forms were received. The first individual will be called to the podium to speak, and the second individual will be in line to speak. The executive assistant to the school board will be the official timekeeper, and the time shall start when the speaker is at the podium. As you will see, the time clock is visible to your left on the dais. You'll hear a beep at the end of the 3 minutes. If you have anything you wish to give to board members or to the superintendent, please do this through our executive assistant, Ms. Moray. She's seated right there. All right. After, let's see, we got that. We have 5 speakers tonight. Our first speaker is Margaret Murray, and on deck is Marilyn LaVecchia.
My name is Margaret Murray, Vice Chairman of Education Champions, a grassroots organization born 2 years ago here in Indian River County. We formed after the August 23rd school board meeting, one that frankly made our blood boil because of its style, content, and motives of school library book removals. 7 neighbors and friends came together to stand up for public education and the right to read. 2 years later, we are 150 members strong and growing. Through partnerships with other groups, we now number thousands of residents in this county who stand with us in valuing public education. Here are some of what we have accomplished. We've attended superintendent workshops and school board meetings. You will often see our members present wearing our t-shirts, waving American flags, and speaking out on important issues. We've rolled up our sleeves and volunteered at schools, donating snacks, supplies, and our time, visiting schools to see firsthand the great things that are happening. We've researched issues and spoken with educational experts. We supported 2 excellent candidates for the school board, leaders who are committed to kids and classrooms. We fought against the state budget cuts for vital programs such as AP, Career Technical, and others. We are not a PAC, nor a political organization. Among us are Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. What unites us is our belief that every child deserves a strong, high-quality public education. To our teachers, school personnel, we see you, we appreciate you. We know that without you, none of the recognition and success our district has earned would be possible. Every day, you welcome our kids with kindness, compassion, and joy. You make classrooms safe, fun, and full of learning. Your dedication is the reason our children thrive, and for that, we say thank you. And to anyone listening tonight who shares our passion, parents, grandparents, neighbors, if you want to join us, email us at educationchampionsofirc@gmail.com. We are Education Champions, and we will continue to stand strong for our kids, our teachers, and our school. Thank you.
Thank you. Marilyn LaVecchia is next. Dr. Margie Flanagan is on deck.
Good evening. I'm Marilyn LaVecchia, a founding member of Education Champions, Advocates for Public Education. I'm speaking tonight because I believe in public education and want the community to know one way in which it is being quietly, knowingly, and systematically dismantled. First, to be clear, I believe in school choice to meet our children's needs, but what we see today is not true choice. It is a deeply flawed system where over 70% of voucher funds are going to children who are already enrolled in private schools or were already being homeschooled. Whether called family empowerment scholarships or vouchers, the results are the same. School vouchers are not expanding opportunity. It is redirecting $4 billion of our public tax dollars to private, often for-profit concerns, leaving public schools underfunded in the process. Vouchers and school choice should be separate issues, but today these lines are blurred. Vouchers were originally intended as an alternative for parents of exceptional students whose needs were not being met in public schools and the parents could not afford private school. Today, the original legislative intent is lost, shrouded in expanded legislation that allows private schools to be financed through our public tax dollars with little accountability. Florida's voucher program now provides approximately $10,000 per child in public tax dollars to families choosing private schools, religious institutions, or homeschooling. Yet there is little or no accountability, lacking requirements for standardized testing, certified teachers, curriculum oversight, and proof of academic progress. And parents can choose to re-enroll their children in public schools after February 1st without returning any funds back to the state while the school district is not reimbursed for these students, further eroding school budgets. Thanks to our school leadership team, led by Dr. Moore, our school board, and teachers, we have a public school system that works in Indian River County. Our students achieve and are thriving. Our teachers show up every day for our kids, and our schools reflect the strength and diversity of our community. But I'm speaking out tonight to inform this board and our community that if we do not act now, we risk losing quality public schools whose foundations are access, equity, and the belief that every child deserves a quality education. As Thomas Jefferson said, quote, "Whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government," unquote. Public education is what makes that possible. We must all protect that before it's too late. Thank you.
Dr. Margie Flanagan is next. Thomas Kenny is on deck.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Dr. Margie Flanagan, Chair of Education Champions. When Education Champions formed 2 years ago, we set as our mission to be a positive, proactive force for ensuring quality public education for all students. We envisioned helping Indian River County meet today's challenges to ensure students retain access to appropriate, diverse reading material, are taught secular, fact-based curriculum, enjoy a safe, nurturing, and accepting learning environment, and receive adequate support services to ensure all students excel. We wanted to demonstrate a special commitment to our outstanding teachers and support personnel who every day do the tough, demanding work inherent in their positions without acknowledgement and certainly without adequate financial compensation for their talents, skills, and dedication. Fortunately, we have an excellent superintendent in Dr. Moore, along with his stellar administrative team and board members committed to student achievement. This has helped the district adapt and our student achievement metrics improve. The district now serves as a model for others. Still, these are difficult times, and there is tough work ahead, including eliminating the achievement gap between student subgroups, ensuring enrollment growth, recruiting, retaining, and fairly compensating teachers and staff, to name a few. While we face numerous obstacles, including political divides, we all share an ardent desire for our children to thrive, graduate, and be financially self-sufficient, despite our differences of opinion on how best to achieve these goals. Historically, strife and discord are not new. Public education has been the stalwart against turbulent political winds, the anchor upon which we have weathered trends and societal storms. Public education is the great equalizer, providing opportunities for all. We cannot afford to give up on public schools. Our children's and our community's futures depend on it. To quote AFT President Randy Weingarten, a rich, robust, well-resourced public education is one of the best routes out of poverty and a pathway to prosperity. Education champions remain committed to helping the district and our students achieve and prosper now and into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas Kenny is next. Jennifer Pippin is on deck and will be our last speaker.
Okay, first I just want to share a moment about Charlie Kirk, who's a champion who fought for free speech and faith. He's a martyr. I too remember the August meeting about books that we had here. It was very controversial. And I want to acknowledge the important role of TPUSA Faith, Pastor John Amachuku, for focusing the issue of pornography in our public schools. Without him, we wouldn't have had the success of getting good reading in our school system. I really appreciate Charlie Kirk's vision for free speech, for advocacy in the public square, and all the things he did to build people's minds and hearts in the American vision. So with that being said, I just want to turn my focus to the desegregation order. I've watched the meetings for the last 6 months. They've been all on transportation, led by Ms. Idolette. As many of you know, the Idolettes were the originators, one of the originating plaintiffs of the desegregation order, and rightfully so. It's no mistake. But this has become ridiculous. This contract that is now being broken down into KPIs and the various things that go on for each point needs to be done away with. And here's why. For 6 months, we've been talking about transportation. A woman who's run this the transportation department since 2016, Ms. Idolette, very aware of the desegregation order and the vision of equality that it brought forth, and desegregation, has a perfect department in all aspects of this. Okay? Repeatedly, it's been said in these meetings for the past 6 months that the school district supplies 100% requested transportation for whoever asks, no matter what student. And these people want to know if within that 100% they're meeting quotas. And then there was a thing in the last meeting where Mershon Green from the NAACP brought up an article about New York public transportation, which had nothing to do with the discussion that you guys were talking about. Nothing to do. But it turned into a 45-minute discussion about, are kids on the bus too long, and are they the right color or the wrong color? It was ridiculous. This was about a union suit because they were cutting busing in New York City because they weren't allowed to charge rush hour fees anymore, or whatever the case may be. So this stuff just needs to stop, and you need to recognize, like everyone did, that the reason we have kids busing across town is because of desegregation busing, and you guys want to change that, and I hope you do.
Thank you. Jennifer Pippin is next, and she will be our last speaker.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Pippin, and I'm the proud chairman here of Moms for Liberty in Indian River County. First, I want to echo the remarks made by Thomas Kenny regarding the long-standing desegregation order. It's time to acknowledge the reality our schools have not been segregated for decades. We must comply with the judge's directive and bring this outdated order to a close and meet monthly as the judge ordered. Next, thank you to the district for upholding the First Amendment rights of our teachers and staff. We appreciate the thorough investigation into the false allegations against conservative educators who peacefully exercise their rights, whether by attending a Charlie Kirk flag wave or posting political photos with family and friends outside of school grounds. These were personal, constitutionally protected actions, and we're grateful that the district recognized that and chose to not pursue unwarranted disciplinary measures from the minority of liberals it upset. That decision affirms your commitment to fairness, due process, and equal treatment of those 4 that we know of, teachers and staff. We are, however, still hearing concerns from families about recent transportation changes as of this year, specifically students on Route 67 to Storm Grove Middle School. Students are now walking more than 2 miles daily after the removal of a previous depot stop at a nearby apartment complex off of 12th Street and Indian River Boulevard. We ask the district to please reevaluate this route for the safety of children. Also, I want to bring attention to a troubling incident at Oslo Middle School a couple weeks ago where a student was physically assaulted after repeated threats. As most parents would, the family has now withdrawn her from the school district and is currently homeschooling her. While we understand the code of conduct was followed for these issues involved, including the aggressor and the students who filmed the attack, more productive steps could have been taken earlier to protect this victim that is now gone from your school system. This is a call for stronger protocols to prevent bullying and harassment, especially at the middle school level, not to just react after the harm has been done, if we can do better on this. Looking ahead at the agenda, 10A, Moms for Liberty supports the adoption of the classical curriculum program, which provides a strong academic foundation and promotes critical thinking rooted in civic and historical literacy. It is currently still your only school that has a wait list to be for K-1 students and families. We also support 10B on the action agenda for the approval of the 2-year strategic plan. You guys did a great job on that. I want to thank you for your time and have a great evening.
Okay, that concludes our citizen input for tonight. Just checking to make sure we don't have any others. Okay. Good. All right. Board members, we're moving to the consent agenda. I'd like to call for a motion to approve the consent agenda items as printed.
So move.
Second.
Dr. Jones, Dr. Pasca, any discussion on the consent agenda?
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Rosario.
Yes, there are 3 items that I wanted to initially pull for further discussion, but as it stands right now, I'll leave it up to Dr. Moore as to when to discuss those. But the first one was dual enrollment. It took a little while for us to get that on the agenda. And I'd like to thank Mrs. Besura for all of her work with this. I know that the college, they were going back and forth for quite a while, and finally they kind of figured out what the enrollment agreement would be with Indian River State College and the school district of Indian River. So at some point it would be nice to share with the public if there were any changes to this so that parents know what those changes are. Quick summary to that agreement would be prudent for the public. The other item is the school improvement plan. These are the items. This item is going to be approved through consent as well. I thought it would be very important for board members, for the public to hear the review of the school improvement plan. Those are directly linked to school grades and to the academic achievement of students, obviously, and to administrators' roles in our schools. So obviously, as we are approving our strategic plan, it is directly linked. and would do us well to hear an overview of that. And then the last item that I'd like to discuss that is on the consent is an item to approve students from Sebastian River High School, the band, to go to Hawaii. I am super excited for them. This item will give them the opportunity to really travel and explore and make great memories, and so on and so forth. So these items were the items that I initially wanted to pull for those reasons. I open it up for discussion if anyone has any further discussion at this point.
Anyone like to comment? No? The only comment I have is that for the school improvement plans, thank you to the schools for working so diligently to make sure that they align with our strategic plan and then what their goals are. And also that at each school level, the school advisory council is driving that plan with the principals. So I know parents are very involved in those plans, and they should be continuously involved in those plans throughout the year. So we appreciate all that hard work. Dr. Moore, do you want to say?
So just a quick update. Dual enrollment was, we had to wait for the Indian River State College. We did make some changes which drastically increased access and expanded that. Ms. Becerra, thank you for leading that work and making sure, actually we were going to bring it the previous month, but they had made some changes or were looking at making changes literally the day before, so we made a decision not to have to bring it back twice, which is that school improvement plans. As we've discussed many times, we follow a very different process. We've had a number of different districts come and visit. I think we have another district coming this Friday. We have 2 coming the following week to look at how we do continuous improvement. We follow a quarterly update plan that is 100% aligned to the board's strategic plan. It is approved by the SAC Council. The SAC Council, for those that are listening, is the school's version of a school board. It's made up of 51% of non-staff or teachers at the school, but of parents and community members who are equally involved in seeing each and every single one of those schools thrive. And then the field trip itself, the field trip is a wonderful opportunity for the students of Sebastian Senior. It's extremely proactive. The approval of that item, board members, allows ample time and gives protections as well if something goes wrong regarding a hurricane or a storm or something tragic that would not prevent them from going to fundraise, while at the same time protecting those funds and getting those funds back to the appropriate party if needed. So that's the update.
Thank you. Board members, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor for approval of consent agenda items, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, it passes 5-0. All right. Now we are to our action agenda. So we have agenda item 10A, public hearing for approval of Pelican Island Classical Magnet kindergarten and first grade instructional materials adoption for the school year 2025-2026. This item deals with approval for adoption, and as noted, Dr. Moore, have you documented that this public hearing was properly advertised in accordance with state statutes?
Yes.
We now recess this meeting to conduct the public hearing as advertised. The public hearing is now in session. The time is 6:40. Dr. Moore, are there any written responses to the advertised public hearing to be read at this time?
Not at this time.
The public is invited to address only this issue at this time. Is there an individual representing an organization or his own personal or public interest who wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to announce that the public hearing for adoption of Pelican Island Classical Magnet Kindergarten and First Grade Instructional Materials School Year 2025-2026 has been conducted pursuant to notice, and ample opportunity to address this issue has been provided to all. The board meeting is now reconvened at this time. The time is 6:40. I'll call for a motion for the adoption of Pelican Island Classical Magnet Kindergarten and First Grade Instructional Materials School Year 2025-2026 as noted.
So move.
Dr. Jones? I'm sorry? Okay. Mr. Dyer? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, it passes 5-0. Okay, we are to action agenda item 10B, amendment, approval of the Ignite 2027 District Strategic Plan. I'm going to call for a motion for approval for the Ignite 2027 District Strategic Plan as noted. But before that, I'd like to bring that item up for the superintendent. Would you like to discuss that at all?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did, when we amended the agenda on Friday, move this to action. I just wanted to thank the team. This is a humongous lift. For the life of me, I can't figure out why so many districts outsource their strategic plan. But this is something that we do not outsource at all. It is the culminating event that we're approving tonight of a whole bunch of thinking led by Dr. Jacobs, Dr. Began. They went through a very lengthy process where they engaged other cabinet members to conduct conversations. Principals had conversations, just the depth of what we put before you, and we have discussed with the board on 4 or 5 different occasions, as well as the individual meetings. This is a plan I think we all can be proud of. So I just wanted Dr. Jacobs quickly to kind of go over the process that we followed. I think we've discussed at length the content of the plan and the structure of the plan, but just assurances regarding the volume of work and the people who were involved in the creation of this plan.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Good evening, Chair Barenborg and board members. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank all of those who contributed to the development of this plan. Dr. Jennifer Began has been essentially my partner in crime with this plan, and really have been working side by side on getting this plan in a structure and way that it's actionable and it really drives the work of the district. In addition, I would be remiss not to acknowledge Mr. Bruce Green and Dr. Kira Shafty, in addition to Dr. Began, who facilitated a number of our focus groups that directly feed input, feedback, information from a variety of stakeholders. And I do not have a clicker, so. Yes.
I can click for you.
I will click through very quickly just to share kind of the depth of this work and the feedback that went into this plan. As a reminder, we had 16 sessions with 10 different stakeholder groups. It was approximately over 500 different individuals involved in both the stakeholder focus groups as well as our town hall sessions. We also gathered school board member feedback, and I want to acknowledge the feedback provided from all of the board members. And I'll share a little bit about the feedback cycle that we went through over time to really illustrate the collaborative nature of the development of this plan. In addition to those things, we had district-aligned work groups that really focused on innovation and leadership and envisioning what that could look like over the next few years. And then also finally, our Design Ed work group, which was done in alignment with the Indian River Education Fund with our middle school teachers to get their thinking around middle school redesign. As you know, we are deep into that process right now in our K-8 schools, but also are expanding that work to our traditional middle school spaces. So this is the feedback trends that we showed you. There were a variety of trends or themes that really stuck out. Innovation was one theme that loud and clear the various stakeholders talked about. Providing the professional learning to support that innovation. Safety and security was a big theme in stakeholder feedback, and that was very much aligned to what board members told us about the importance of that within the plan. As far as our cadence of school board feedback, I just wanted to share for those who may be listening in on the amount of work that went into developing this. You can see that we essentially had a monthly cycle of board workshops in which we provided information about the plan development in digestible bites in order to gather board member feedback and ideas and then go back to the drawing board at monthly intervals in order to incorporate that feedback into the plan. In addition, in July and August, after we had an opportunity to start drafting the actual plan, which is a significant lift, we brought that plan back to board members. Even at that point, there were pieces of feedback that really changed the structure of our plan. And I'd like to share a little bit about that. We did maintain the previous 5 focus areas that were in our original Achieve 2025 district strategic plan. However, we incorporated 3 strategic pillars. So that is a lot of the messaging that you've heard us talk about, connected by community, fueled by innovation, and driven by leadership. And that really has taken root within the district and across the district, and we have been fully aligning the work, both at the district level as well as the school level, in those strategic pillars. Next, a big shift from a 5-year plan to a 2-year plan. This is directly related to board member feedback about how quickly we have to think and work and act and respond in order to drive innovation in ways that are best for students. And then finally, a continued emphasis on results and annual objectives. So we didn't want to walk away from being objective about what we wanted to see as we realized the goals in our plan. Finally, there was also, as I mentioned, desire to ensure a continued focus on safety and security as it's fundamental to the well-being of our students as well as our staff in our school environments. Establishing innovation and associated strategies as a cornerstone of the plan, and that is well entrenched into the document that you see being brought before you for approval tonight. Continued expansion of programmatic options, and I won't go much more into that, but Dr. Moore mentioned some of that during his superintendent's report of looking at how we can expand those programmatic options and maximize what we have to offer to students. And finally, accelerating instructional impact through leadership development. And so we've talked on previous occasions that we are very much proud of our educators, our teachers, our leaders, our district staff that have really driven the outcomes that we are seeing within our school settings. However, to continue to sustain that over time, we need to continue to build capacity within our leadership pools and lead at every level. So that's from the classroom, our teacher leaders, all the way up to district office. And so that just provides you a quick overview of the work that went into all of this. And I want to thank each and every person who engaged in this process alongside us in order to create a plan that really speaks to what our community wants. Thank you.
Is that all, Dr. Moore? Okay. All right. So I'm going to call for a motion for approval of the Ignite 2027 District Strategic Plan as noted.
So moved.
Dr. Posca.
Second.
Mr. Dyer. Any discussion?
Yes, please.
Yes. Dr. Jones.
Just a couple things. I'm working on a strategic plan with Economic Development Council, and then Executive Roundtable, we're looking at governance and policy and bylaw. And Dr. Moore, they are paying somebody, Economic Development Council, to do that.
Don't say it too loud.
I know, I know. But, when I look at this plan, I have very carefully, first of all, I'm glad that we're looking at every 2 years because public education is changing faster than we can even imagine and where we're going. And the pillars, I thought those 3 pillars were just excellent additions because that's what we have to be about to be successful. And I love that we're keeping our guiding principles with academic success being the main focus for our students. But this is very, very well written, and I want to thank everybody who had a part of it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Dyer?
Yes, I'd just say that I too concur that a plan that you develop yourself and everybody has ownership of is much better than having somebody from the outside lead it. So while I think that it may have been a lot more effort on everybody's part, you'll get a better plan as a result. I think that also what should be noted is one of the big things that you did focus in on this year was innovation. And truly, we are in a need for innovation to compete and to be successful in today's environment with the funding that we have and with the competitive nature. So I think that you guys rose to the challenge, and really commend you on those efforts. I also would note that one of the things that was a byproduct of the plan, and I assume you did the 2-year plan rather than the 3-year, because your goal is to be #1 district in Florida. And so I assume you're now going to accomplish that by the end of this plan, which maybe even this year.
Never misses the opportunity to apply pressure.
Okay, good.
All right, Ms. Rosario, did you want to say anything?
I think it's a great plan, and I'm looking forward to all of the output of the innovation that's happening in the district. And I'm glad that we are finally where we are right now, and we're moving forward.
Okay, I'd just like to add, thank you for all your hard work, Dr. Began, Dr. Jacobs, and the whole team. Putting together a strategic plan is an enormous goal to achieve, and you have done it very well. I know that bringing it down to 2 years, I think, is really important because of all the little goals that we set for ourselves that we want to immediately change, and then we look at a strategic plan that's 5 years out and we say, So I appreciate the fact that we're doing that. Thank you for all the input that you got from the community, from parents, from not just these 5 board members. So we appreciate that as well. All right, so I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? It passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, this time we have a discussion item, discussion A, transportation costs. Dr. Jones.
Thank you. I'm going to change my approach on this a little bit. I did not realize Dr. Moore was going to kind of give us a report on where we're going, and I did have this on the agenda before he did that, but I want to start out because I love what Mrs. Moore said, coming in hot for the #1 spot, so we need to kind of keep that focus as we move forward. When we look at our budget, we had a great budget approval with Mr. Green in the finance department, and we're moving forward. And I don't know if Mr. Green will share this, but he gets calls from other finance people to see how we're doing it with our SAM model and discretionary and how we allot all of that. But we all know when we look at budget, we have to pay about $5 million a year in transportation. Over the last 5 years, that's been the average. And also a lot of issues when we have ESC. So those are the 2 funding things. And as we move forward, you know, it would be nice if somehow we could recoup some of that money because every penny is going to count. I know Dr. Moore and Mrs. Idolette in the summer looked at routes and reduced many routes, saved money, worked hard on changing those convenience stops, if you will, because we do not get money from them. We're lucky that our magnet school students can now go to the depots and at least get on the bus there. And we do everything we can when parents call in and say, you know, we need some help with safety issues. I was looking at state statute because I thought about this with our K-8s, and it's really different. They will go up to 6th grade for safety issues, but not 7th and 8th. So we're saying, would we tell a 2nd grader in a K-8 school that you can ride it, but not the 8th grader? So those are things I think we have to constantly look at. And we always want to make sure that our parents and our students are safe. And as we look forward to this board and making some tough decisions, and innovation has been one of our keys. Our K-8, looking at our boutique high school, look at our STEAM programs, everything that we do in our schools. I mean, we are trying to hit the ground running because we have a declining enrollment, and there are some issues. I was listening to Orange County the other day, and they're losing 7,000 students, and they're going to have school closures. And I think the key here, Dr. Moore, is we have to look at every penny, obviously, but keeping our community informed. We have a great community who supports public education, and we want to make sure that they are aware of what we're going to do, and I know we're going to start talking about that in October, because this is hard. You know, when I was in the school district, when we first came, I think we had around 19,000 students, and life has changed, we know that. I met with Senator Grahl and had a great meeting about accountability and helping us become more flexible and what we have to do in public schools. Give us a little bit more room here because we are setting the pace. We are the template for this, and I think we can continue to do a good job. You know, I've been here for 45 years, and I have seen
when a school was trying to close. I have seen when you consolidate. And so I just ask that we as a board continue to look at that to see how we can save money, obviously. You know, maybe some of those convenience stops we can't do, maybe some of the things we can't do, but letting our parents know why. Letting our parents know why. We are an A school district 3 years in a row. We're 5th in the state, and we want to keep this going. And how do we keep this going? We create a sustainable, healthy organization. And that organization is the value that you, Dr. Moore, in this board puts on our employees. They are so very, very important to us. You know, it's real simple for me. I'm a public school advocate. I will fight for public schools every minute of the day. And we have some challenges, but I just say, we don't have to do it alone. We can do it together because this community wants us to soar. This community and this board wants us to keep improving. And I just say, let's be ahead of the curve. If there are some things that we have to talk about, just keep our parents informed. And I don't know if you like this idea. I haven't run this by you, but
Is this on transportation?
no, the transportation was how do we save money? But the big thing was, you know, transportation is we have these big things as far as the money we have to spend. I'd like to reduce so that we didn't lose that $25 million, but that would be, talking to our state legislators because they do not provide all the money in transportation. They do not provide all the money we need in ESE. So I'm just saying in general, let's, maybe form a committee or a group to talk about this because everyone in the state, as Ms. Rosario, we want the school to be successful. Maybe we can't do the convenience stops. Maybe we can't do this. Maybe we can't do that. But we will always keep our focus on our kids. So just want your reply on that, buddy.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. And I think a lot of people look at the state of affairs in Florida and say, oh my gosh, we have so much we have to deal with. To me, it's almost exciting. And that this burden is being placed upon us, although we may not have wanted it, but we're the ones that gets to solve the problem. So it will be complex, but I am so confident and excited that we have the right people in place in order to take this on. And at the end of the day, which won't be anytime soon, this will be engaging in conversations over the course of time, that we create a reality that better serves the children in our community. And that's ultimately, I lead with innovation around the shifts and changes and modifications. When I was in Miami, and the fact that we homeschooled our kids, I was almost shamed. And what I learned through that experience and how we decided to educate our kids becomes such a benefit to what public education is becoming. And being flexible and creating drop-in schools. And kids are going to want more flexibility. They're realizing from the kids that live next to them or the team or the sports teams that they're on that there's just not one way of doing school. And that's just the truth of it. So what an awesome responsibility we have to be the authors of what this could possibly look like. And, it becomes this balance. And I know this is not, now I'm talking too much. It becomes this balance when we, from a perspective of all right, Terry, drive up to Tallahassee. These are the things that we need flexibility or advocacy around in shifts in statute in order to do, what we need to create. And I think if we don't provide that information to the state, then shame on us. Right. Because ultimately, the levers that have been pulled has been to create competition. So we can sit back and say, oh, what was public education? Or we can be the authors of what public education can be. Because you're right, we are the number one choice in this community. And we have to continue to innovate to remain the number one choice. And I know we will. So I'm very excited.
Ms. Bearmore, and I did change a little bit from the beginning because I knew Dr. Moore, or when he said that, what he did say. And I stopped by the office one day and Dr. Moore had the superintendent's advisory council. Oh, okay. Yeah. And whenever I see a bus and I see kids, I'm coming in to see what's going on. And he did talk about that, saying what could we do to change this, what could we do better. And, I started out with transportation because it does cost so much money, and we're looking to see, get that money in the classroom and see what we can do to help there. But just let's be ahead of the curve. Let's see where we need to go. It is an opportunity, and I think this team and this school district are all in.
Thank you. Anyone else want to comment on that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Ms.
There
Rosario?
is, Dr. Jones, I appreciate you putting this on as a discussion item, but as we are discussing it, there was no description here, so it was hard for me to come prepared to engage in the conversation. But now that I hear what you are presenting, I just have a question for you. I know what I hear is that there is a concern for our transportation costs. Transportation is an underfunded mandate as it is. So what I'm questioning is what was your original intent? Was it for us to have a discussion about how to reduce transportation in the district?
No, I was just looking at reducing transportation costs in general. I know we're underfunded, and I double-checked with Mr. Green. We pay about $5 million a year from the district for our total in transportation, and just looking at a way to cut costs so that as we move forward, if our enrollment doesn't increase or if it declines, putting those costs in the classroom. So just kind of looking at it. And see and again, I've met with Senator Grahl and expressed my concerns about several things, see what we can do to get even more funding from the state.
Okay, anyone else?
So, yeah, I'll make.
Okay, Dr. Pasca?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing this up, Dr. Jones, because it has been a topic of conversation that we have had over the last couple of years, really, as a group in workshops, even though we really have not had specific items to address kind of the projected potentially loss of students over time and how can we respond to that. But I appreciate you bringing it up as a topic of discussion because it is going to be something we do need to discuss and plan, obviously, and I'm very glad that the superintendent is working on a plan. It's one of the things that I ran on was that we needed to shrink the district, shrink administrative costs, because we were already in a big state of decline at that period 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago now. And we've been talking about it over the last year or two. It's come up a number of times. And I don't know all the different things that we can do. I know there's a number of ideas on the table. And one of the things I've offered a few times is the discussion on efficiency experts or forensic audits and things of this nature, because it was very clear to me 3 or 4 years ago that this district would continue to shrink and it would probably accelerate at some point, and we don't really know where it will reach a steady state and then potentially in the future come back up and start growing again. So it was imperative to me that if this was going to be a successful district with high quality education, we had to get in front of the loss of students and become efficient, and the word of the day is flexible. Because if you don't do that, you start hemorrhaging money on an annual basis that if you had saved and invested and put to better use could have sustained you through those tough winters, through the loss of cash flow that we are currently starting to experience across the state. So we have a lot of work to do on this topic. I'm sure we're going to have more conversations, and this is kind of the official first one of them.
Mr. Dyer?
Yeah, I think that transportation is probably emblematic of many other areas that we're going to have to really figure out in the coming years. I mean, not only is that an unfunded mandate, there are more and more mandates, including vouchers, that are basically unfunded for the public schools. I mean, now charter schools, which deserve capital, but their capital is now being, I think this year we're at 60% of their capital is on the district, where it was funded separately from the state. And I'll remind you that when they took away capital the last time in 2008, it wasn't until 2023 that we had the same amount of capital in this district that we had in 2008.
Right.
So there are more and more unfunded mandates that are really challenging public education. I agree with Dr. Pasta. I think that being efficient as a district is very good. But you reach a point where, you know, you can do things better, which is kind of incremental, or you can do better things. And that's exponential type challenge. And I think that what the district is doing through innovation is really trying to redefine education, putting the money, the limited resources, where it's going to make a difference, where we get a bang for the buck, where we are becoming efficient, but that efficiency leads us to greatness because we have a better focus and a stronger focus. That doesn't mean that in things like transportation, which I know is underfunded and costs a lot of money, we've still been responsive. I saw a letter from a parent to the board members recently within the last few weeks that talked about a special safety issue with a bus route that affected their child, and it was resolved. So even with this, we were able to resolve it. I heard tonight about kids having to walk 2 miles to get to a particular station. I'm sure, I hope we noted that, and I would bet we would get a resolution. But again, you know, to have a focus on innovation and a focus on reinventing education is not all bad. The more efficient we come and the more that we can put dollars where they're going to make the biggest difference, the better off we are. So I look forward to that.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make a point. I think you've done a really good job of kind of navigating us through all this squeeze. Price of everything has gone up. Our employees need salary raises, that's happened. And yet, still, we've done that despite everything that else is going on. I know it's just going to get more and more of a pinch, and I know a lot more of the school boards across the state of Florida and across the nation are dealing with the same thing. But I think we're in a pretty good situation, and I appreciate the fact that you've put us there. So I'd like to say thank you and kudos to your team for that. All right, we are to school board member matters. Would there like to be someone that would like to go first?
I will.
Okay.
I'll
Dr.
go
Jones?
first. Oh, you let Ms. Rosario.
Oh, Ms. Rosario, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony at Pelican Island Classical Magnet School, and what a sweet event that was. I'm so excited because it was a great grand opening. I wish everyone could have been there. You could feel the excitement, you could feel the energy, and just the rebranding alone. So Dr. Moore, I will certainly make sure to sign that ribbon before you bring it over to Pelican, because it really was a special event. I also wanted to give a special thanks to everyone. I know, Dr. Moore, you included it in your opening presentation, but I wanted to just offer another thanks for all of our schools and all of our district staff for putting together all of the events that happened to honor the tragic events of 9/11. You all know it's a very special day for me, very sentimental day, I should say, as it is for many millions of Americans. And it's just something that I'm glad we have come to a place where it is honored and it is well understood that we are going to make that day extra special, and that instruction is going to be guided to teach children who may not ever really understand, and maybe even their parents, what it was like during the events of 9/11. So I'm glad that we have that day of remembrance, but I do hope that it's not just a one-day event, just in general. I hope that some of these events will go on so that we don't wait until 9/11 to remember them.
I'd like to ask our superintendent a question with regard to, I know that it was mentioned earlier, and I know that some of these conversations have been coming up in a lot of district circles regarding Turning Point USA. Dr. Moore, are you aware of any students who may have requested at this point to open a TP USA at any one of our high schools?
So we did speak with principals regarding the opportunity to create and gave them the authority to do so at the request of students. So I don't know that there's been a request from a student, but our principals stand ready to provide that support if needed.
Okay. I just didn't know if any students came forward. I know that it was obviously an incredibly awful, horrific thing that happened to Charlie Kirk. My heart and my prayers are with his wife and children and everyone directly affected at TP USA for the events. And even those people who watched it online, it was tragic. But I'm glad that we are in a place where we are going to leave the door open and welcome for students to open up a chapter of Turning Point USA if indeed they want to. Student-led groups are welcome in the school district of Indian River County, and we just want to be able to support students in that effort. And I'm glad that Florida Department of Education is also on the same page, as is our Attorney General towards this end. And with that said, I am done with my announcements.
Hey, Dr. Jones?
Yep. Been to several football and volleyball games. Everybody is looking good. The ribbon cutting ceremony at Pelican Island Classical School was really a great event. Thank you very much to Principal Justice and her staff. The event at Sebastian River High School for 9/11, I think I've made every one of them since they started those, and very, very powerful. Thank you to the fire department, first responders, sheriff's department. For my committee's executive roundtable, been working on bylaws and governance, and they just became a Moonshot partner. Economic Development Council working on a strategic plan. And of course, the people who work with you want to know what kind of schools we have, and I always say great. Parent engagement, the mental health collaboration, had a session on Saturday dealing with neurodivergent children. It was excellent. The Laura Riding Jackson Riding Camp on Friday, they recognized 35 students. I think 30 of them were from our public schools, middle schools. I talked about the Superintendent's Advisory Council. That seemed like a very, very dynamic group. And I want to share one thing I share with Dr. Moore, and I think Ms. Finnegan and Lenny Jankowski. I was at the volleyball game at Vero Beach High School last week. Coming out of the restroom, it's outside of the gym, and I heard the Star Spangled Banner, and I stopped. And there were 5 young men who happened to be football players that were standing there with their hands over their heart. And one young man was holding the phone that had a flag on it so they could salute the flag. Afterwards, I congratulated them. I told them who I was. I shook their hands and then shared that with Lenny Jankowski, the AD. I said to make sure that they tell them that I was so very, very proud. You know, teenagers, high school, middle school, sometimes we hear not as good things as we should, but I thought that was powerful, and that was a great message for our school district.
Thank you. Mr. Dyer.
Yeah, I have several comments. So one, that I visited 2 schools, and I guess this gets back to one of your pillars in leadership. 2 schools that were A schools last year that had a leadership change. And it was interesting to me to go and see just how those schools were doing this year. And, you know, it was terrific. I didn't feel that they were missed a beat. Good. So those were Vero Beach Elementary, the Moonshot School, and Beachland, A school, 90% literacy. What's going on there? Now, I did notice in the school improvement plan that they need a little help in the math scores. They didn't quite achieve the 90%, I would say, by far, but that's in their school improvement plan.
Their lowest 25%, but they have a plan.
So that was good. But, you know, the leadership part, and I also noted that I think we opened school. When I asked you, you said we only had 1 opening, and that was filled by a full-time substitute. I don't know how it is a few weeks later. But when I look at it, the nice thing that I've seen in this district over the last few years is it's beginning to build a bench. You have terrific talent. You have a place where people want to come to work because they can really perfect their craft and do good things and make a difference in kids' lives and in their own life, as we saw from the teacher of the year today, in the kids' appreciation for what a teacher does for them. I thought it was just remarkable. Second thing I wanted to talk about was this upcoming event for the school district, really celebrating again everything that's happening. This is going to be on Thursday night, the 2nd, celebrating this national documentary that has been done on this public-private alliance and the success that this district has had in literacy. Just remarkable. We're now tied for second in the state at 71%. The kids reading in third grade at third grade level, which is absolutely fantastic. We have a goal to be number one. We're making great progress, and we've done things, and when you look at it, I mean, I looked at Vero Beach Elementary, what was it, 5 years ago was an F? 5, 6 years ago was an F?
Probably 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago was an F. Last year an A. They had 2 classrooms in that school that were 90% literacy. And overall, as a school, achieved 71 or 72. I can't remember. I think it was 71%.
I think they were 71, but 3 years ago they were 38.
38, right, which is unbelievable. So things are making a difference, and I think this thing on Thursday night, and then I understand that it's also going to be shown again as part of the Distinguished Lecture Series in sometime this spring. And when is it? February. In February. So we'll expose so many people into the community to the great things that are going on in this school district and the community. And the last, I'm just going to make a comment for what it's worth, and it has to do with a state statute. Most people don't know, but the school board got a raise of $1,422 or 3%, which is done by staff. It happens automatically. I find it rather interesting that that's the way the government does it and the statute does it, because I remember with excruciating detail discussing Dr. Moore and his salary and things that were going on. I see every other salary coming up. And it's interesting, even though it's there, that we don't have the public. You know, the public has a chance to comment on school board several ways. One, individually, they comment through the election every 4 years, I guess, or 2 years. Every 2 years, they have a chance to comment on person. But corporately, as a board, we really don't ever get any real public comment about how this board is doing. And I think that at least bringing it up, or being, to me, having the light of day, that there's an automatic, that everybody in the state is going to do the same formula and do it the same way. But there it is, and nobody talks about it like we talk about every other salary. So it just seems like that corporately, that there ought to be some accountability to the board as a corporate whole in how we're doing our job. And that was my comment.
Oh, I believe citizen input over the last few years, we've heard a lot of that comment to school board members and how they're doing. I'm going to bring up a couple things. I attended the ribbon cutting a few days after I had a pretty major surgery. I appreciate everybody that accommodated me for my handicap accessibility. It was wonderful, and it was nice to see that everything's kind of moving along smoothly there, and Principal Justice doing a great job. FSBA meetings, I have attended lots of different things because I'm on a few different committees there, and I'm running the advocacy committee, which is the largest committee for FSBA for the state this year, and so it's kind of been a big undertaking. One of the things that we're really looking at, 2 things, and now you're on it for our board, but has been VPK and the necessary funding that needs to happen for VPK. And of course, every year comes up, And every year we're told it's too much money. But yet, if you look at all of the research and you compare, if you educate children really early and you compare that to maybe jail cells, you will see that those numbers are definitely related. And so getting kids educated and getting them in school early is beneficial to the whole community. So that's one thing that we're kind of focusing on, along with the platform. And board members, you can comment on the platform. It's open, so make sure you do that. Treasure Coast Community TCCLG. I go down to that meeting in St. Lucie every month. I usually attend in person. Because of my surgery, I couldn't attend in person. I've been attending on Teams, but anybody that wishes to go on the board, you're more than welcome to go. You're meeting with county commissioners, city commissioners, school board members, and some other delegates from legislators that are there, along with South Florida Water District, things like that. And it's really interesting how when you bring 4 counties together and we have like-minded problems and like-minded issues, it's really great to kind of meet everybody and talk about it. So you're more than welcome to attend those. I'm going to be attending on Teams for a little while. Also, I'm on zoning and planning. I haven't been able to go to a few meetings because of my issues as well. And I'm hoping that we can get a representative from our school district to sit in on those meetings because they're important. Congratulations on the website design. Dr. Began, thank you for that hard work. It's come out. The only little tweak I'm going to tell you is it's hard to find the calendars. I don't know if anybody's gotten back to you on that, but when you're on the phone and you're looking for the calendars for the school district, it happened yesterday. I was at a birthday party for my grandson and somebody asked me when such and such was, and I tried to find the calendar and I couldn't. So I had to search for it. So that's the one little thing I would say, maybe for the mobile user to make it more accessible. Other than that, it's beautiful. Thank you for the integration that happened between that and everything, because there are a lot of pieces on that, not just the website. I was out of town for a couple weeks, traveling, and then I, of course, had surgery, so I've been in my house for a little while, and then I came out to go to the doctor's office, and I saw the Jimmy Graves project. And it was like, I hadn't seen it in a couple weeks because of everything, and I was just amazed at what it looks like. And my husband commented that the design, which I didn't even pick up right away, with the design of the building, looks like our logo. And I thought that was really creative. I don't know if that happened or that just happened.
I'd love to take credit for that, but I don't know.
Okay. It was kind of neat that it kind of matches our logo. So I don't know when our ribbon cutting is going to be for that playground, but I know some people are begging to know when it's going to open. So I can't wait for that to open. And thank you all for all the help that you've given to me for what I've gone through in the last couple of weeks, and I will be going through again in the next couple of weeks. So appreciate that. Yeah. Dr. Moore, Superintendent's closing.
We do have, so if all cabinet members can turn your mics on, please. It is, Kelly, mic on. It is, Jaime? Mic on. It is Doc's birthday, so we want to.
Oh, I was going to do that at the end. Okay.
We're going to sing her out. So I'll count us in. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Jones. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. So hard to reach 50.
That's it. That's the closing.
That's your closing. Okay, great. And I'd like to thank everyone for viewing or coming out this evening to our meeting. At this time, I'd like to adjourn the meeting. The time is 7:24.